Welcome to the Unfiltered Gupshups, another podcast where real stories follow and connections come alive. With gratitude to the Supreme Power and our loving families and AB Photos and for their constant support and creative magic. We are trying to create magic, bringing our guest to inspire you more and more. So, welcome to the podcast. And Jayshree, today's guest is Jayshree, who is the founder of Lotus Ladder Collective, a leadership and capacity building platform advancing South Asian women in career transitions and community impact roles. Backed by 20 years of executive leadership in higher education, workforce, development, and non-profits and human services, she is known for guiding individuals and organizations towards clarity, strategy, and actions. Welcome, Jayshree, and please let us know more about yourself.
Thank you so much, Aditi. It's a pleasure to be here talking to you. So, about myself. For the last 15 years, I've been part of higher education institutions. And that has really given me the opportunity to observe diversity among students, faculty, staff, administration. But all along, something that I noticed is that South Asian women, if you look at the statistics, not too many of them get a chance to move up the ladder and get into visible positions. And factors could be many, right? But that's my observation. And so when the opportunity presented itself, and when there was enough time in my life for me to start thinking about it, I said, I'm going to start, I'm not going to launch this company that will really bridge that gap that exists for South Asian women and leadership and things like that. So here we are talking about the company that I just launched this year, and it's called Lotus Ladder Collective. Like you said, it's a leadership incubation for South Asian women to really find clarity in their life and find a purpose and identify their values and strengths and carve a path for themselves. Yeah.
So that brings my question that when you felt that it is the right time to start this LLC?
So I guess the realization that a company such as this is a necessity didn't really come up in my mind in a dramatic way. It was just over the years, my observations, like I said before, and really understanding that a collective or a space needs to be created for South Asian women to build that trust amongst each other and also uplift each other. So that's our mission. The mission for Lotus Ladder Collective is basically empowering women, South Asian women, especially the ones in career transition, to empower them to rise with clarity and gain confidence and thrive in the company of other South Asian women who are also in the same stage of life that they're in. Yes.
So how do you start the processing with ladies?
So the way it works is I'm primarily interested in serving South Asian women who are in career transition. The reason for that is because when there is a transition in the career, when there's a break in the career as a result of maybe caregiving responsibilities, layoffs, whatever the reason might be, a lot of times South Asian women in particular find themselves all alone, not understanding what it takes to get back, or I shouldn't say not understanding, but figuring out how to get back into the workforce in itself is a challenge, right?
Yes.
Because you become so busy
so
taking care of
their responsibilities.
Absolutely.
They forget about themselves.
Yes. So I basically, I launched this company this year, and my goal is to be able to get the word out there for these women in career transition to understand that being part of the community really helps them uplift themselves, and also in support with the support of other women in those shoes, it makes it easy for them to carve that path for themselves. So the process involves basically getting the word out there, and there's an application process. What I mean by that is that I want to be working with women in career transition who are ready to get back into the workforce.
Okay.
So my experience has been that, whether it's in higher education or in nonprofit or workforce development, my experience has been workforce development, right?
Okay.
So when you're talking about developing the workforce, you really want to be targeting those individuals that are ready to return back to the workforce.
Yes.
So the same thing applies to this situation as well with Lotus Ladder Collective. I want to be working with women who are motivated and eager to get back into the workforce, but they need a path, right?
Yes.
So this is what Lotus Ladder Collective provides to them through this collective. I started the application process, and then I have been, because it's a brand new company, I've been very, very careful about selecting the women that become part of the collective. And so they're carefully selected, and the cohort is very, very small, 5 to 6 people. And I take them through this 4 to 6 week process.
Okay.
And we start off by by helping them identify their strengths. And then this whole process involves every week people coming together through virtual meeting sessions where they work with me through this process. It's their process, but I facilitate it for them.
They are beginning the journey with you.
Yes, they're beginning the journey with us.
Yes. This question comes, that's someone who is stepping for the first time as a leadership. How do you help them?
Yeah, so stepping into the leadership role is a very, very interesting experience for people. A lot of times before you get into leadership roles, you really don't have one does not have a clear awareness of what it takes to be a leader. Leadership is an experience. You can't just read books about leadership and say, oh, now I'm going to be a leader, because it has to be learned through experience. It's lived experiences, right? So, yeah. So going back to your question about, how women who are stepping into the leadership role for the first time, this process that I put them through really helps them understand, because I believe that everyone has some leadership qualities in them.
Yes.
It's just a matter of helping them become more aware of it, and then also learning to apply that skill and enhancing those skills. And through this process, they actually begin to learn how to do that as well.
Make them aware also.
Yes.
They don't even know their qualities. Sometimes,
a lot of times, yes. We all go through our life not really clearly understanding. We don't have a lot of clarity on, what our strengths are. And we also don't put a lot of thought into our values as well, right? And so this process involves helping them understand these things. And once they become comfortable with, what it is that they understand about themselves, then they also begin to understand what leadership is. So with this company, it's something that I forgot to mention earlier is that it's a two-pronged approach. I'm building leadership skills for women to get back into the workforce and take on leadership roles. But there's also the second component, which is these small cohorts that I put together. They work on something called the Community Impact Project. The second mission of this company is to also help nonprofits build capacity. So when these women work together on these Community Impact Project, it becomes actually a circle. What I mean by that is
they're giving back to the society.
Yes, they're giving back to the society. They're beginning to become, identify and, all of their strengths and values and purpose, and they contribute to the nonprofit. And capacity building actually, in some ways it
they are becoming role models.
Exactly. In some ways it also points back to leadership, right? So it reinforces their leadership by doing that. So yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Indirectly, they are also giving a training to other
Absolutely,
women.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a great satisfaction that comes from it as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, how do you see or identify leadership positively or restrictively in the women you work within?
Can you repeat that question again, please?
How do you see to identify the shaping their leadership positively or restrictively in the women you work with?
Yeah, so I see. So one thing, let's understand something that happens to women that are in a career break. So it's this new, it's this identity that they had worked really, really hard to create for themselves outside of their home. Right? So when that goes away, suddenly the woman finds herself thinking, who am I?
Yes.
It's the identity,
Yes.
correct? So suddenly you become somebody's mother, somebody's wife, somebody's daughter, all of that, right? So the first thing I really work with them on is really, helping them realize that just because that identity that I created for myself has gone away doesn't mean that I suddenly become nobody, right? So all of those skills that helped her get there are still there.
Yes,
correct?
yes, yes.
So it's just a matter of helping them identify those skills again and becoming confident with those skills again. And that's when you can actually propel yourself to the next stage. So this is what women begin to understand when they get in the program.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
that's nice. So LLC collectively delivers both leadership program and non-profit capacity
Yes.
building. How do these two tracks complement each other in your larger mission?
Absolutely. So like I said before, they really complement each other for the reason that women, when you help them develop their leadership skills and they begin to contribute to these community impact projects that, that they work with the nonprofit on, the nonprofit benefits from it. At the same time, that capacity building activity itself reinforces the leadership skills that they've gained through this. So that is the difference in career development that Lotus Ladder Collective focuses on as compared to other programs that are out there, right? So it's like I said, it really starts from the premise that leadership has to be experienced through activities. So these community impact projects, when women of different skill sets, different value system come together and they contribute to this project together, all of them walk away thinking, I gained something from it, because it's a skill set that they might have wished they had, and they get to work with other women with different set of skill sets, and they gain that, and they walk away feeling like it's not just that I contributed to something meaningful, but I also gained something from it. Yes.
That's wonderful. How did those experiences which you gained in past sharpen your approach to strategy and impact today?
Yeah, so if I start thinking about my own career, I was fortunate enough to be in settings where I got to work with diversified groups of people, especially in higher education. You get to work with, students, grad students, faculty, like a whole gamut of types of people, personalities, and then other work that I've done before that as well. All of it had collectively given me this exposure to the community. And I understood that community-centered, any project that's community-centered, it becomes very easy to scale up, because the whole community is involved in it, right? So all of these experiences really shaped me in the way that helped me understand what it takes to bring out the best in people, and I'm applying that to through the Lotus Ladder Collective. I call them Revive program for that reason. We're reviving their career, right?
Yes.
So the Revive transition is for South Asian women who are in career transition. We help them revive their career. Yes.
Okay, so you had to identify one of the leadership blind spot that South Asian women often carry unknowingly, what it would be, and how do you help them?
Yeah, so let's talk about South Asian women. You and I are part of that group, right? So if you really think about the leadership blind spot, it's exactly what it is that women really don't understand or are not fully aware that they're playing leadership roles in all aspects of their life.
Actually, they don't
right?
realize.
Absolutely.
When they are in the homes, they are doing a lot of work.
That's exactly. It's leadership, right? but they don't identify it as leadership,
Yes.
right? It's not validated,
Yes.
right, by the people around them. So they begin to, and there's also the cultural nuances that all South Asian women in the US, by the way, this program is designed for South Asian women in the US.
Okay.
Because they share this similar cultural nuances, as far as what they do outside the home, and when they come back, the minute you walk through that front door, the expectations are felt, right?
Yes.
And you begin to fulfill them. So, this is where that leadership blind spot exists, because they have it, but they don't see it as leadership. It's regarded as something else, right? Oh, you're managing this, you're managing that. What is managing everything? That's leadership, right?
Yes.
They're leaders in their own homes, but they don't see it that way because it's not validated. Yes.
So many women struggle with this self-doubt, as we are mentioning all throughout. During transitions, what one framework or tool you have seen consistently shift to confidence for your clients?
Yeah, so if you really think about the framework that we use, I'll go back to the Revive Transition Program. So the framework that we use there is, you start off. So if you are bringing them back after a career break, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, the first thing that has suffered is the confidence level.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's not that they don't have the skill sets. It's not because they don't have, everything that has gotten them there. It's the confidence. So we really start working on helping them focus on their strengths, and the team really works supportively in identifying each other's strengths as well. And so once that process begins, then we take them through the next step, which is the value. What is the value that they're working off of, right? And then once the values are identified, and then we help them identify the purpose. What is it that they want to, the next phase of their career, ideally we want to build the leadership skills so that they can contribute in a leadership role in nonprofits. That is the underlying goal, but that doesn't stop them from getting back into the workforce and seeking the type of job that they want to. But then purpose has to be identified, right? What is it that, what is the purpose that they want to serve in this next phase of the career that they're getting back into? So that is the framework that we use with them.
Also, they want to learn that they will be managing everything.
Yes.
Because they cannot leave their other responsibilities. Right. So yeah, community seems to be a major pillar
Yes.
of your work. How do you intentionally build spaces where women feel safe, seen, and willing to stretch?
Absolutely. So, the number one thing for women to feel safe is creating this secure environment, correct? So I use a platform called UpSquad for my program. So UpSquad is basically a all-in-one virtual platform that has all the functionalities built into it to bring these women together in this very secure, environment where they can actually begin to share a lot of information with each other. Of course, the focus is always on career. We do not bring in personal issues because everyone is going through something or the other in their personal lives. So I make sure that all of the conversation, communication, everything is designed in such a way that it begins to uplift them. So this virtual platform serves really well to build this community of South Asian women who are, in the process of getting back to the workforce. So that platform provides this secure environment for them to feel comfortable, to come out of their shell in some ways, and begin to really
share their emotions, talk to each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything has to do with the career and professional communications, but definitely it helps them come together in this very secure environment, and they don't have to. It's unlike the social media; they don't have to worry about what are people exactly.
Who will say what?
Yes,
that's good. Looking ahead, what is the next big opportunity you have designed or designing for the South Asian woman in leadership, and how do you hope it transforms the ecosystem?
Yes, thank you so much for asking that question, because my initial goal was to really study this by forming these small cohorts of women. And it worked really, really well because past COVID, we are in this era where we have the tools and equipments and the digital assets to be able to bring people together from all walks of life, all different corners of the world. So interestingly enough, in the cohort of women that I'm currently working with, we've got one from Canada, one who is recently moved to India, but in the process of coming back, but in a career break. One from California. We've got women from all different corners of the country coming together, different time zones, and so it worked really, really well. But one thing I started realizing in this going through this process with them is that if you really, really want to build a strong community of South Asian women, that physical presence becomes extremely important as well. Like you and I are sitting and talking about it. There's a lot of nonverbal that we're observing from each other, and you're nodding your head. I can feel that you're supportive of what I'm trying to say. All of that, there's a barrier when you're talking about virtual community, right? So what I'm envisioning is creating these regional hubs in cities where there's a higher population of South Asian diaspora, and bringing these women together into this hybrid format where there's virtual sessions that go on as part of the program, but in between, if it's a 6 weeks program, they get to also congregate in one place where there's guest speakers come in, they're talking about leadership and getting back to the workforce, and there's a lot of steps involved in getting back to the workforce, right? So prepare them for that as well. So Raleigh area actually provides this wonderful opportunity for me to be looking at creating a regional hub in the Raleigh-Durham area, in the RTP area, I guess, right? So and that's something that I would really like to, going into the future, I'm envisioning that there'll be regional hubs of Lotus Ladder Collective. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yes. Definitely.
So I'm glad that you came to our podcast and participated, and we got a lot of information about your LLC. So thank you very much for sharing all your thoughts. Absolutely. And it might be inspiring to any of us, I do not know right now. And our Unfiltered Gupshup family is listening. Maybe they will I
can provide information about the website, LotusLadderCollective.com has all the information about the Revive programs and what we're trying to do. This is, the more I talk to women who are in the program, the more I hear that they've never experienced something like this before, strangers coming together. I've seen this transformation happen right in front of me. Strangers from different corners of the country coming together and never met before, but working together. By the fourth week, they're actually working on a project together. Imagine that, right? So every week when I hold these weekly sessions as part of the program with them, and every week the one thing that I hear from them is thank you for bringing us together. Because that doesn't exist right now. There are lots of leadership programs out there, and I in my work before, I've developed many different type of women's leadership program. But I was yearning to create one for women like me, South Asian women, right? So that we can see a lot more South Asian women stepping into leadership roles and being supported by a community of other South Asian women, and feel good about the fact that they're contributing to not only nonprofit, but any company that desire to get back into, right? So it's been a pleasure, and I'm really, really glad that when the idea came to me, I acted on it. Sometimes, sometimes, we think of ideas, but then we say, maybe sometime in the future. I've done that, but I just got to a point where I said, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it, right? So I'm really glad that the Lotus Ladder Collective is now a reality. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, and all the best wishes for Lotus Ladder. And thank you very much. Thanks, AB Photos.
Thanks again.